Hello Internet, day 63 of my Vlog 365 challenge. Martin here. I don't know whether I look silly or not in this jacket. I've been in Bedfordshire today. Drove up for a meeting, mainly actually for a meeting with Bedfordshire CVS, Community Voluntary Services, to sort of introduce who I am. I sort of knew them already, but not really under my home county's community media guise. So they're to talk about what home county's community media is, the newspaper, about myself. I was meeting with a few of them, including one of their main advisors, or their main advisor, their marketing person, and somebody else who, whilst I got introduced to his name, didn't quite get his position. I don't think I was introduced to his position, but I get the feeling he's quite senior there. So about who I am and what I could be doing and that sort of stuff. And it made me, whilst we were there, we were having a lot of conversations about grants and that sort of stuff. And it did make me wonder how many community organisations out there, particularly including scouts and guide groups, and I know there's a lot of scout and guide people that I know watch my vlog, who are interested in funding and grants, or what opportunities there are out there for community groups and networking and coming together, and are actually involved with or registered with their local CVS. Now, frustratingly, they're not all called CVSs. They were all called CVSs, but now they've diversified and had different names and that sort of stuff. So somewhere in your town or location or possibly county level, there will be a equivalent, and normally it's also the organisation that sort of runs the volunteer centre or might have links to the volunteer centre, and there's something alone, you know. Quite often I see a lot of scout groups and stuff, sorts, and guide groups, you know, meaning new leaders. How many of them, or put the question to you really, how many of you are actually registered with your local volunteer centre? Equally, there's the national volunteers, there's, you know, I think it's called Do It, and this sort of thing, because I think scouting people don't realise that they're in the business of sort of community development, or developing young people and all this sort of stuff, because they see it as a uniform group. It is just scouting, but you're in the game of changing young minds and developing young people, and all this sort of stuff. And people, I don't know why I'm trying to find somewhere comfortable to lean against, I suppose. And you are in that business of developing young people and helping, you know, little buzzwords that you see in the community development game, like community cohesion, bringing communities together, and that's before you look at the community impact stuff, you know, the Million Hands, engaging with other community groups and charities and that sort of stuff. And things like this, you know, have your scout. If you have your own scout hut or your own premises, be an opportunity to be a hub. Why don't you offer your own? Why don't you run your own networking event for community groups to come together for free in your space with some teas and coffees to meet each other? Particularly the youth, all the youth-focused ones, maybe. You know, call it something like, you know, wherever your area is, youth of the future, and invite them to come along. Where can you share best practice? Where can you talk? Where can you maybe look at marketing or sharing leaders or this sort of, but also looking at grants. Grants for scouts are really hard. A lot of grants and trusts automatically discount uniformed organisations. I don't know whether that's because of prejudices or misconceptions and all this sort of stuff. But equally, there's an awful lot of grants out there that scouts don't even know that they're available. The biggest one that most community groups should be doing every year is called Awards for All by the lottery. Up to £10,000, you can get it. I've heard of scout groups getting it for new tents, trips abroad for cultural exchange and all these sorts of stuff. And this is where your local community voluntary services equivalent, they're called infrastructure organisations, can help. They can help you do grants, equally, as well as the Scout Association and doing fantastic stuff about trustees. A lot of CVSs do trustee development, they can do training and all this sort of stuff. So I suppose the message of today is, if you're working in the community sector, and this also applies to community media, community radio stations, how many community media, community radio organisations actually really get that they're community development organisations, and that opens up different opportunities and different networking. So I suppose, like I said, the message is really, if you're working in the community, if you're working in a voluntary organisation, running a voluntary organisation, chances are there's opportunities out there. Feel free, I'm more than happy to have these conversations with people. Go to YouTube, comment below if you are involved in your CVS. What are your experiences? If you're a scout, if you're a guide, what sort of grants have you got and that sort of stuff. Anyway, like, subscribe on YouTube, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.